It goes as placeholder, so I want to go over the patch notes for 1.2.0 of Splatoon 3. Let's have a look. So, yep, promising improvements. Splatfest multiplayer, new amiibo. Huge amount of fixes are planned to. Patch notes 1.2.0. Added support for the new amiibo. Made improvements to data transfer. Average data will be transferred about 0.05 seconds more quickly than before. That is, I think, 1/20th of a second. That's not much faster, but at least it's faster. Users can expect to see a reduction in the time it takes from a player being dealt damage to them being defeated. Time it takes from touching goal and actually picking up and other similar actions. That's good. That's always awkward when there's a delay and it takes longer than expected. User improvements cannot fully compensate for a slow or unreliable internet connection, right? Yeah. Can't blame everything on Nintendo, but also they should improve their internet. Sub-weapon changes, Fizzy Bomb. Increase the time it takes for ink to start recovering after using a Fizzy Bomb by about 0.25 seconds. 1/4 of a second. Then, okay, so that'll be increasing the white frames before you start recovering ink. Okay. Points required for some weapon specials have been changed. Fling's sloshing machine reflux all went from 200 to 210. Okay. That'll reduce sloshing machine's booyah and the center missiles from the other two. Okay. I haven't even got around to using those weapons yet. Changes Splatfest made set up players from each team appear when players appear from each team appearing during open and pro Splatfest battles. Each team's affiliation is also displayed, making it easier to know which Splatfest team they're on. Okay. I won't really know what they mean until we see it in the next Splatfest. The grass, fire, water one. Made it possible to report fresh hand-drawn pictures that appear in the sky above Splatsville during Splatfest. Oh, I didn't know those appeared up there. I guess I never looked up. I don't remember looking up to see any pictures. Information like the name of the current mode and other changes. Information like the name of the current mode and progress through a challenge will now be displayed on opening the lobby menu during matchmaking in the lobby or Grisco. Yeah, I'll have to see what that actually means in the game. When playing alone, immediately after choosing keep going or change gear, then go, the player can now use the button in the lobby or Grisco to cancel matchmaking depending on the game is selected. So I guess it's easier to cancel matchmaking now with minus, because sometimes you can do it, sometimes you can't, so maybe you can do it more. In the lobby or Grisco, in the place, like, okay, yeah, when joining a friend, sound effect will now play in the control vibrate to notify the player. Okay, never tried that before. Improve the efficiency of matchmaking. Anarchy Battles Open, Anarchy Battles Series, Splatfest Battles Open, and Tricolor Attack. These changes mean that a pair of players joining Anarchy Battle Open or Splatfest Battle Open can expect shorter wait times. Okay. When reading amiibo with Freshest Fit equipped on the saved on the equipped screen, there will now be an exclamation point where Freshest Fit is displayed on the bottom right of the screen. Okay, we'll see what that means. Have a hard time picturing some of these changes. Adjusting weapons, improving several features, fixing bugs, playing several adjustments curtail extend to style play where players stay far removed from the action to use sub weapons or special weapons. Scratch prioritizers, bug fixes, and other adjustments to weapons will continue next update. In addition, reduced the amount of time matchmaking takes for certain modes, reduced battle latency, and means more convenience improvements to the lobby and more. That's good. I appreciate that. Getting to next gear faster is always good. For me, I prefer just getting into the next battle. The next update will focus on new features for the season beginning in December. Weapon balance changes to Splatfest Tricolor Attack Mode is scheduled to be released at the end of the current season, so near the end of November and start of December. Actually, just near the end of November. Fixes to player controls. Fixing issue when our players' moves are unable to be reproduced smoothly due to the terrain and process to instantaneously move them would not run, causing them to stay in their displaced position for a long time. I wonder if I've run into that. I do feel like I've had awkward moments with trying to move, but maybe that's just the game being the game normally, and I just need to get better. But hopefully that'll make things easier for me. Fixed an issue where super jumping to a distant location and attacking just before landing would cause shots to travel farther than intended. Oh, I didn't know that was a thing. Okay. Fixed an issue where the gear ability ink saver main was not being activated when using brushes and holding ZR to ink while moving. Oh, is that an issue? I never noticed. Fixing wasn't really paying attention to that sort of thing. Fixing an issue makes it easier to interrupt the player's attacks, turn back to swim form repeatedly, pressing ZR to attack or holding ZR when using brushes or sloshes. Okay. So that made it so, I guess before, you could like attack with ZR and then go back into swim form quicker and just like cancel your attack. So you can't really do that as very good. Okay. That's fixed an issue. Change the player's pose when they attack right after Squid Surge or Squid Roll away from wall while having a charge or a string equipped so that the direction they are facing and the direction the shot actually travels are not as different. Oh, okay, so it looks better. It doesn't look as weird. String or a charger. Yeah, haven't tried. Never noticed that. Fix an issue where when aiming a charger with a scope attached while pressed up against obstacles become transparent in some cases when they shouldn't be. Okay. Fix an issue with sloshes where the weapon use sound effect would not be played correctly when attacking immediately after low ink is shown. Fix an issue with the blob blobber where some of the blobs will not be lobbed when used while submerged and aiming upward. Huh, okay, I think I might have noticed that. I guess I don't know. I haven't used a blob blobber yet. Fixed an issue with the ball pivot splatling when firing at long range where the variation of the speed of the ink fired was greater than intended. Okay. So I guess they went faster and slower weirdly because I guess it was adjusting speed from going short to long range. So it's less weird now. Never noticed that. Even in Salmon Run. Could help. Fix an issue where firing a Google Door is not drawing repeatedly where low damage shots will be fired at the moment of the second slide. Okay, that makes it so Google Dollies are more properly working. So they don't do low damage, they should do high damage after they're rolling, as expected. Fix an issue with the tent umbrella where it launched its umbrella's hit detection. It was farther forward than intended, bringing it closer to the position it had in Splatoon 2. Okay. That makes it less weird. Fix an issue with Splatoon where the width inked would be larger than intended depending on the number of swings. Okay. Looks like I won't be doing as well with Splatoon now. I didn't notice if that was a thing. Fix an issue where certain control inputs with Splatoon stamper would cause horizontal slashes to be repeated faster than intended. Okay. Fix an issue with moving long distances with the Zipcaster where certain inputs would allow the player to use their main weapon even while moving. Okay, never noticed that. Guess I never tried swinging while moving to see if something. Multiplayer fix an issue with inking certain terrain with a bomb or a rainmaker explosion will reward more points than intended. Okay, that's good. Fix an issue where inking the walls of some object in the stage will charge a special gauge. Okay, that's good. Don't want that happening. Fix an issue where some objects in the stage will not be applied toward inked area in turf war battles. Okay, good. Fix an issue where blaster shots would produce the same shockwave as mid-air explosion when hitting a tactical cooler or ultra stamp. Oh, okay. Yeah, they're just meant to dissipate, aren't they? Fix an issue where rollers would ink surfaces they weren't touching when rolling in a way that clips into certain terrain. Good. Fix an issue where the sloshing machine spiral would deal damage when hitting an opponent on the other side of thin terrain even though they were hidden by the terrain. There we go. That's the fix everyone wanted. Fine. Okay. Fix an issue where the sloshing machine spiral will deal damage when hitting an opponent inside an inkvac vacuum area despite the opponent being entirely inside the area. Okay, that's a left. Guess no one's noticed that. I haven't seen anyone point that out. But yeah, so yeah, fixing the sloshing machine so the shots don't hit things they shouldn't is good. Very good. Fix an issue where a bomb would remain in its location when hitting umbrella at the moment it closes regardless of damage dealt to umbrella. Huh? Oh, I see. Which I don't see. Fix an issue where a bomb would remain. So I guess the bomb stays there even though it should explode after hitting an umbrella. But when it hit the umbrella just as it closed, it would like not disappear, thinking it didn't hit it, regardless of damage dealt to the umbrella. Okay. Don't hear how damage has to do with it, but okay. Fixing the issue where using Splatoon in close contact with the tower control tower would cause the ink to disappear when it hit the tower. Okay. I might have had that issue. Feeling like things weren't inking properly on the tower. Fixing the issue where burst storms disappear without activating them hitting certain terrain when hitting. Oh, okay. That sucks. Good thing that's fixed. Point sensor attacks and winks will disappear without activating when hitting certain terrain or an ultra stamp. Oh, okay, good. Yeah, it's just meant to activate, is it? Special ability to disappear placed in certain location. Good for you, dude. Good. That's good for dude. And that weirdness. They don't disappear weirdly now. Splash walls. Fixing the issue at some stages where booyah bomb splash will not ink the ground correctly. Good. Fixing the issue where the ultra stamp will not block enemy bomb blast waves. Good, good, good. Oh, these are all ultra stamp fixes now. Finally, maybe I can use my ultra stamp better with my Splatoon wiper in splat zones. Alright. Fixing the issue where ultra stamp will not block enemy bomb blast waves. Ultra stamp will not block fully charged shots from a charger. Ultra Stamp's repeated stamping attack, where there would be moments in which direct attacks could not deal damage to the opponent. Oh, good, good. I think I might have had that awkward, but I surprised it didn't happen as much as I thought it would. There's people complaining about damage not being hit, but I should be able to kill properly now, more so. Prevent the Ultra Stamp's repeated stamping attack from properly inking the ground. Oh, that happened, hit it. Allowed Ultra Stamp's repeated stamping that deal damage to enemies on the outside of thin walls. Okay, that's a lesser known ball thing. Where the Ultra Stamp's made a spinning attack could not deal damage to opponents on the ground. Oh, that's a very well-known one. Good thing that's fixed. It allowed the Ultra Stamp's mid-air spinning attack to deal damage to enemies on the outer side of thin walls. Oh, okay. Hitting center terrain, the instant Ultra Stamp is thrown will cause the explosion in a different location than where it hit. Okay. Ultra Stamp's throw attack when aimed at opponent on iron grating would deal direct damage even if hitting from the backside. Okay. Guess it fixes it so you don't do too much damage in certain situations where you're not supposed to. Fixing an issue where hitting enemy on the other side of a thin wall. The Trizuka would deal damage to them even though they were hidden by terrain. Kill a whale where the megaphone targeting a locked on opponent who was splattered during the active period would move. Wavebreaker where its wave will not be visible if placed in a location with a high difference even in the area of effect. That might have happened to me before. I feel like I've been located without any waves hitting me. Wavebreaker would not activate when placed on terrain at a certain angle rather than catching and falling. Placing Wavebreaker overlapping an opponent's splash will cause the Wavebreaker to disappear on the opponent's screen. Oh. So it's not meant to disappear when you hit a splash wall. Tactical activating the same moment a previously placed tactical will cause both to disappear. Okay. Appearance of a placed tactical that inclines at an angle due to moving terrain will differ from its collision detection. Okay. When a player is splattered directly before a tactical's effect runs out, the special gauge reduction would remain normal even though the player still has shortened respawn time. Oh, I see. So you should get your special gauge reduction actually reduced now instead of being normal reduction. Less reduction, as it should be, more properly. Keeping terrain, tacticals placed in certain corners, okay. Clipping. Comeback was also activated for respawns after the oh, okay. Yeah, comeback's only meant to happen when you get splattered by an enemy, not if you make a flub mistaken terrain and get yourself splattered from terrain. Falling off stage into water. Splat zones mode where the borderlines of the zones were difficult to see on certain stages. Okay, I never had much of an issue. Just to remember, so if the players splatter right at the moment they place the Rainmaker, the goal count will be at 1. Oh, okay. So I guess it's meant to be 0 now? So we're more likely to not splat people as they're landing on the Rainmaker pedestal. Over time, with Rainmaker, where an announcement about taking the lead that differs from the actual results will be shown when the Rainmaker is dropped the moment the team takes the lead. Fixed Nation Rainmaker, where the top signboard that show areas the Rainmaker is restricted from entering would block ink shots. Okay, good. Rainmaker, where a player would get the instant barrier broken if the Rainmaker was returned to center just as someone was trying to touch it. Fixed Nation Rainmaker, where a player would get the Rainmaker at the instant its barrier is broken if the Rainmaker was returned to the center just as someone was trying to touch it. Okay, I don't really get it. I'm not gonna. Clam bits, technical, place on top of the clam basket would disappear. Huh. Fixed clam blitz where every time would be entered when the time limit is reached, even if the team with the lowest score has no existing power clams. Okay. Fixed Scorch Gorge stage and turf war splat zone and clam blitz where squeezing into the gap between certain terrain will cause the player to enter into the terrain. And the clipping, move the box on top of the grading and onto spillway. Stage and splat zones because initial where attacks will pass between the box and the terrain despite looking at blocked, like it blocked attacks from below. Okay. Mincemeat metal works with part of the player's model would clip into a certain terrain. Players then essentially climb on top of certain terrain at the edge of the stage. Hagglfish marker would position the box placed on mid grate near the starting point was displaced from the grate. Hagglfish marker tower control slightly reduced the route of the tower and fixing the issue where the player become unable to move on top of the small gap between the tower and terrain. Fixed issue link Art Academy where a wave breaker placed along certain wall would break immediately after being placed. Oh, good. Inkblot Art Academy. Tower control mode slightly adjusted the route of the tower and fixed an issue where the player would become unable to move on top of the small gap between the tower and the terrain. Fixed issue Mahi resort stage and tower control where an area impassable to players would appear mid-air when the water level dropped. Fixed issue Mahi resort stage Rainmaker mode where in certain locations the score count will not change as intended. Okay, good. Sturgeon shipyard where part of the back of the drawbridges was able to be inked. Sturgeon shipyard where players were able to get on top of the pipe outside the stage boundaries. Sturgeon shipyard where when using the subcaster from the lower part of the stage, players could pass through certain terrain and come out on the stage surface. Oh, okay. People can't use that subcaster exploit anymore. Makes sense to fix it to me. A bit too ridiculous doing that. Fixed in certain shipyard stage and tower control mode where players could be pushed inside terrain by the tower. Issue in Sturgeon shipyard stage Rainmaker mode where certain off-limits locations were accessible to the Rainmaker. Huh. Sturgeon shipyard Rainmaker mode where score count will not change as intended in certain locations. Fixed in Sturgeon shipyard stage and tricolor battle mode where a box placed on a metagrate had no collision detection at its bottom surface, which allowed things like ink shots to pass through. Okay, that's good. Using our Delfinzo with the thin legs of the bronze statues will block ink contrary to their appearance. Okay. So not meant to block ink. Fixation at Museum d'Alfonsino where the top of the revolving doors was treated as outside the stage. Okay. I guess then you just disappeared, possibly, if you went outside the stage. Where shots would penetrate summoner's terrain outside the stage. Museum Delfinzo where players were unable to summon the walls or retaining doors despite it looking like they had been inked. Okay. Never had that issue. Extinction Museum d'Alfonsino stage. In Rainmaker mode, where players were unable to ink not able to encounter the terrain. Okay, good. Fixing issue in Museum d'Alfonsina stage and Rainmaker and Climb Blitz modes where players were able to climb on top of the revolving doors. Okay. Fixed an issue in Museum d'Alfonsina stage and Climb Blitz mode where some of the clams that spawn in the middle of the stage will not be shown on the turf map despite the ground beneath them being inked. Oh, okay, good. Fixed an issue in Maker Mart where players could stand on top of the surrounding fence outside the stage. Maker Mart stage, spat zones, tower control, Climb Blitz modes, adjusted the squid spawn beginning positions and fixed an issue where part of the ceiling would be displayed on screen. Fixed an issue in Wahoo World where trying to super jump to a certain location would result in landing in slightly displaced position. Fixed an issue in Wahoo World in stage control mode. Stage and tower. Fixed an issue in the Wahoo World stage in tower control mode where certain objects would appear inkable on the map even though they are not. Fixes the Samurai. Oh, I'm really going to like this. I really like Samurai. Fixed an issue where play hitboxes in life ring form was small and turned. Oh, thank you. I swear it was so annoying and people weren't getting revived when they should. Fixed an issue where multiple arrows would appear within the screen if the same player signaled help or this way repeatedly, made it so that there would be only one arrow from a single player. Okay. Never noticed anything like that. Fixing an issue where a launched umbrella would have a large rebound when making contact near a salmonid's head. Good. Now umbrellas aren't going to go flying into the sky anymore. Fixed an issue where game moves will slow down if a player uses a jetpack to reach the top of the egg basket. Good. That seemed like really weird lag. And it wasn't just regular lag. Fixed an issue where bombs thrown at a flyfish's weak point would then come out. Finally! Oh, thank you. Oh my god, I hate it when they bounce out. Finally they'll work, they'll just go in there and hopefully stay. Like in Splatoon 2. Fix an issue where play attack by moles near water or certain terrain will be blown far into the air. I feel like, has that happened to me? Don't think so. Or maybe I feel like it has. Can't really remember. Fix an issue where a player to touch side surface of moles during the attack would be splattered. Okay, good. So we don't get weirdly splattered from the side anymore. Don't think that's ever happened to me though. Maybe it hasn't, just didn't notice. It's all just moles getting me. Should get splattered less by moles then. Fix an issue where the player's respawn point would be in midair, leaving it unable to return to the stage. This could happen when jumping into the water from the top of a fish stick, but just before it disappears. Okay, good. Anyway, that solves that. Any weirdness similar to that. Fix an issue where players could avoid taking damage by jumping when flip or flipper attack, regardless of whether they were in the attack area or not. Oh, that was an issue, huh? Yeah, I've seen people, they would just jump to avoid it. You can just jump in the air and it won't hit you, but it looks like it can get you now. Okay, no more jumping to dodge them. You've got to actually be outside the area. Fix an issue where a slamming lid may be unable to move if it touched a fish stick. Okay, yeah, I've seen that weird issue. That gets rid of that weirdness. Fix an issue where player riding slamming would rarely be launched far away. Okay, that fixes that weirdness, yeah. Fix an issue where a player would be pushing the stage terrain when attacked by a Kozuno. Okay, never happened to me. But okay, good. Fix an issue where players could avoid taking damage by jumping when a Kozuno did a jump attack, regardless of whether they were in the attack area or not. Okay. Okay, just like with the flipper flopper, jumping seemed to avoid damage, which is weird. It didn't seem weird for the flipper flopper, but it would seem weird for the Kozuno if it was coming down. And I guess if you jumped at the edges, you didn't get hurt. But no, it can be. Made it so that Kozunos will not attempt to do jump attacks against players on top of a fish stick. Yeah, I've seen that before. I guess they just decided to just make it not do that now instead of doing something that changes it. Fix an issue in the co-op charge event where players were unable to mount the cannons. Okay, good. Don't think they've had that issue, but it's good that it's fixed. Fixed an issue in the Golden Seeking event where a launched umbrella wouldn't activate a gusher attached. Okay, good. Fixed an issue in the Gorilla event where the Gorilla's red light laser sight wouldn't be shown if a player was resurrected by a bomb at the last second before a crew wipe. Oh, okay. Mudmath Eruptions event where players could clip into a Mudmath radar for a spawn and be splattered. Okay. Fixing an issue in the Giant Tornado event when playing in a bad communication environment where a box containing golden eggs wouldn't appear or be positioned as intended. Okay, good. Fixing an issue where players would not be able to get their special badge upon arriving at an extra wave max hazard level. Okay. Fixing an issue where they would not be able to receive grid code points correctly when the ship's schedule is updated while playing a job. Okay. Never had that issue. I think I've heard about that issue before though, so that's good that that's fixed. Fixed an issue with reporting a player from the grid code terminal where their number of delivery assists was not shown correctly. Okay. Is that what they're called? The ones in the little bracket thingies? The lesser than, more than bracket thingies? They're called delivery assists? I think I figured that's what they were the entire time. But now we can know for sure. We call them delivery assists. Fixed the problem where simultaneously pressing certain buttons at the reward pickup window will cause the game to crash. Oh. Okay. Simultaneous pressing button. Okay, good thing. That never happened to me. A good thing it won't happen to others now. Fixes the story mode. Huh. I'm almost finished story mode. I wonder if these would have been helpful. I don't remember encountering any weirdness or issues. Fixed a rare issue where ink wheels would not reappear. Implemented measures to prevent the game from crashing on stages where octoling enemies appear. Okay. Fixed an issue where using a splasher on the edge of a cliff would cause player controls to stop working. Okay. Never had any of those. Ink wheels. Fixed an issue where collecting a canned special attack while using this aggressive will cause player controls to stop working. Okay. Fixed an issue on stages with time limits where after a player lost their armor due to an enemy attack and time ran out at the same time as the player's armor was restored, the player would lose control of their character but the stage would not be counted as a loss. Okay. Fixing issue to prevent a game from progressing when entering a pipeline immediately after throwing small fry at a fuzzball. Okay. Fixing issue where touching an upward dash track repeatedly could move the player outside the stage, counting as a loss. Okay. Fixing issue where the player being splattered or reside on stage while small fry was thrown onto a flutter would cause the flutter to no longer ink the ground. Huh. Okay. Fixed an issue where players being splattered or reside on stage just before a balloon fish exploded will cause the bomb fish's area to shift and depending on the stage make clearing the stage difficult. Okay. Fixed an issue where quickly moving a lift on the stage where octo discos appear could cause the game to crash. Okay. Fixed an issue in alternate site 1 stage 6 where enemies originally meant to appear were not appearing. Oh. I wonder if I should go back there and see if any disappear now. Fixed an issue in alternate site 4 stage 6 where breaking a certain target just before falling out of stage would prevent the next target from spawning and make the stage impossible to clear. Okay, let's not worry about that one. Fixes to Splatfest. Fixed an issue where players not pledged to any team could still earn conch shells. Okay, adjusted the color of ink when color lock is on during tricolor paddles. Okay, hopefully that makes it better for people. If you need that, use color lock. Fix an issue where a team had a synergy bonus related to hairstyles where the name displayed were different from the actual hairstyle. Okay. Other fixes. Fix an issue where ability changes due to secondary gear abilities would not be immediately reflected when changing gear in a lobby. Fix an issue where finishing a battle and choosing change gear then go reading an amiibo just before the countdown timer ran out would prevent the game from proceeding. Number of issues random player species changing when reading a meal on a equip screen. When buying gear from merch, the purchased gear will now be marked as new and will appear at the top of the list in the equip screen. Okay. Fix an issue where buying gear from merch where the price would become zero. Huh. I feel like I've seen that before. Not in my game, but someone posted it on Twitter. Very strange and funny. Fix an issue that could prevent the game from proceeding while talking to merch. This could happen when repeatedly pressing the B button while the ability chunk screen was displayed. Okay. Fix an issue where the names of the Squid 3 logo and Octopus 3 logo stickers were switched. Okay. Fix an issue with pressing ZL to check an item's info at Hotlantis where, depending on the item, the example image would be scattered due to how the light hits it. Okay. Fix an issue with photo mode where the Y button's camera reset will not work while taking a photo with a timer. Fix an issue with the photo mode where the image shown as a preview and the photo actually saved to the album would differ greatly when shooting at certain camera angles. Okay. Fix an issue with joining and dropping in on friends where when everyone has pressed ready, inputting certain controls could cause the matchmaking to not proceed even after the timer reaches 0. Fix an issue with joining and dropping in on friends where opening the lobby menu at a certain time would make the controls stop working and ultimately disband everyone. Okay. Fix an issue where the ghosted friend who appeared in the lobby or at Grisco via notification message would defer an appearance from that player's actual appearance. Fix an issue with picking up an item obtained by Splatnet 3 at the lobby terminal where a connection error when receiving the item could make you unable to obtain the item until re-entering the controls to obtain the item in Splatnet 3. Okay. Fix an issue with playing a battle or seminar at the show with a user who is not using network features where connection error can occur when equipping a splash tag background or title other than those owned from the start. Okay. Fix an issue where other players would see you wearing different gear if you change your equipment right before a match started in a private battle. Okay. Good. Fix an issue where the damage shown on a test range targets or the copy machine would be slightly lower than the actual damage. Good. That's very good for testing. Fix an issue where fix an issue in locker editing where some weapons would not stabilize after being placed. Okay. Good. Fix an issue where an error message would not properly display after a connection error occurred while exchanging card bits in the deck editor. Okay. Table to fix. Fix an issue where when the post display option is set to off, player's hand-drawn post that was saved part way through drawing would be displayed rather than the drawings prepared in advance. Okay. All players can access to 1.2.0 starting October 25th, 2022. It's tomorrow, isn't it? Oh no, it's 25th here in Australia right now. I guess it'll come out later today or tomorrow. Okay. That's everything. That's it for me. Like, comment, subscribe for more. See you guys next time.